I love sending Kym pictures because she gets irritated. Whatever irritates Kym, I like to do.
Funny mamas.
So
Now that wasn't prepared. I would get to when your son.
Two funny mamas.
Hey, everybody, we are back with Two Funny Mamas live on the Vineyard, on Martha's Vineyard. I just learned that. We're live on Martha's Vineyard, Sherri Shepherd and my best friend,
Kym Whitley.
Kym Whitley. And let me tell you something I'm very, very excited about.
She's very excited.
I'm very excited about our next guest, Isoul Harris.
Yes.
He's got a documentary, and it's called Donyale Luna. Let me tell you something about that. I called you about the most amazing documentary I had seen. Because first of all, like when you hear about these supermodels, black supermodels, we think of Beverly Johnson.
Right.
We think of Iman.
Yeah,
we think of Naomi Campbell.
Right.
But there are African American supermodels way before that.
Them.
And they didn't have it as, I don't want to say that supermodels have an easy life. I'm not being disingenuous. But there was things that they had to go through that we were never aware of, and they opened doors for these supermodels that we knew. And so I saw this documentary about Donyale Luna, who I didn't even know. I had no idea who she was. And it was such a brilliant documentary. And I cried, too, because this woman went through so much and was so, she's so underrated because we don't really know about her. I'm not even going to say, excuse me, but we have the creator, the maker. How would I describe you, Isoul?
Producer.
He's the producer. He's one of the producers, of Donyale Luna Documentary, which had a screening here at the Vineyard. Part of the
on the Vineyard.
Did I say on? Oh, please give me a little bit of grace. I'm working on this.
I just learned that too.
I'm so tired of him.
And welcome to my age, trying to remember pronouns and things.
We here.
We here. Okay, we here. But I'm so excited, Isoul, that you are here to talk about this.
She's excited because 5 minutes ago she didn't know who he was. She was like, welcome to the show.
Why didn't you tell? No, I didn't know Isoul. This was the documentary.
And it was like Isoul, and then he brought up the documentary.
He said Donyale Luna.
And you were like, what? And it clicked in her. And then
you were supposed to come last night.
I didn't get to come last night because
you were apologizing for not coming, right?
Because I didn't know it was...
And not knowing that you've already seen it.
I didn't know that I had seen it. This was the same one.
Ain't nobody invite me, but go ahead.
Okay, I'll worry about it. Don't know what to say.
They didn't tell me.
Yeah,
well, we couldn't have come, but still, I would like to.
Well, it's on HBO right now, so we're going to watch it. I'm going to watch it again, but you're going to watch it tonight because you'll be through. So, Isoul, I could go on and on all day and be telling everything. I want you to tell us first of all, who is Donyale Luna?
First of all, thank you for having me on the show.
Of course.
I feel like
this is going to be 25 minutes. Sheila don't have a hand.
I feel like Mama made it. I'm in between both of y'all. I've been watching Kym Whitley all my life. And Sherri. My father watches you religiously every day.
Oh, I got them daddies on lock. Hey, daddy. Hey, daddy. That's another 5 minutes, Sheila. His daddy. Wait a minute, your daddy married?
Yes, he's married 58 years.
Okay, well, she knew who she married. She knew who daddy is. Hey, daddy.
Tell us who Donyale.
Who is Donyale?
So Donyale Luna was the first black supermodel.
Yes.
Yes, and
what does that mean?
So the reason why we call her the first black supermodel is because she is the first black woman to be on the cover of any Vogue magazine.
Yes, beautiful.
So historically, we've all known Beverly Johnson to be the first black woman to be on the cover of Vogue in 1974. Mm-hmm. But I was the editor of a magazine called Uptown.
Oh, all right now.
I was editor-in-chief of Uptown magazine.
Okay.
And so years ago...
I was 12 years old. Jesus.
No, it's just that you're older. Life just flashes before your eyes. It's not so.
Right. And so we learned about her. So we were like, oh, wait a minute. Beverly Johnson wasn't the first to be on the cover? Like, how do we not know this?
Right.
I've been in fashion and editorial all my life.
Yeah.
I didn't know this. And so we ran a story on her. It was during Black History Month. Okay. And we told the staff, let's find some, not the usual suspects. Let's move beyond Frederick Douglass. Let's find some people who, people may not know about.
They already know about potato chips. We don't need Frederick Douglass.
Okay.
And
was it the red light? I don't remember. Okay.
It's not, oh, jeez, go ahead.
All right.
That's Gary Morgan. But,
Oh, sorry. Okay. All right. So I'm on the Vineyard.
But anyway, so our creative director at the time, Melissa, who's my producing partner, Melissa Kramer, she came back to an editorial meeting and she went to an exhibit. She saw like a little paragraph on this woman named Donyale Luna, who was a black girl from Detroit, Michigan.
Yes, Detroit.
Her name was Peggy Ann. And, right. And so she went on to become the first black supermodel. Mind you, like I said, she's from Detroit, and she changed her name at 16 years old.
Wow.
16, and created this whole persona and made herself into Donyale Luna.
She was quite beautiful. She had this, she's very slender.
Mm-hmm.
She really, really was beautiful. And I remember in the documentary, just wasn't accepted in her town of Detroit. She felt different. Sometimes you always feel like you're meant for more.
Yeah.
There's something, and she didn't know what it was. And she came to New York at a young age.
I believe she was 17, 18 years old.
Which, that's pretty young to come to New York.
Absolutely.
And she, was it easy for her?
So the thing about Donyale, she didn't have an easy career, but she did have an instant career. So as soon as she came to New York, she kind of hit the ground running. Because she was literally drop dead gorgeous.
Yes.
So she got to New York. Her first job was, I think, Glamour magazine. Mm-hmm. She did a spread with Woody Allen and some people. Then her next job was, she was on the cover of Harper's Bazaar.
Yes.
So she was the first black woman to be on the cover of Harper's Bazaar as well. In 1965, I believe.
I find it interesting that in the documentary, you were talking about the fact that sometimes people, the fashion world, didn't know what to do with her. Because she was quite gorgeous. She was
That's what I
fair
heard
skinned.
about me.
Yeah, nobody know what to do with you, Kym. But back to Donyale Luna. They just didn't know because she didn't fit the mold. She didn't fit the mold of a black model. And is that why she moved to Europe?
Yeah, so she was in New York. She was on the cover of Harper's Bazaar. But then once the magazine came out, the subscribers of Harper's Bazaar in the South didn't like seeing a black woman on the cover.
Gosh.
I'm from the South, but it's always the South that causes problems. Let's just be real when it comes to politics, right?
On South.
Right. We love the South.
Yes.
But so the subscribers, they complained. And so the owners of Harper's Bazaar told them to never use this woman ever again. Wow.
Not even her fault.
No, not at all.
Wow.
Not at all. And so at the same time, her mother shot her father.
Like shot?
Shot and killed him.
Oh, wow.
And so she's dealing with that. And so she kind of has a mental breakdown, goes through that. She's at Bellevue for a couple of years. And for a couple of months.
Wow.
And then she moves to London.
Okay.
And that's when her career really takes off, when she gets to London. And it's during this whole time during the 60s, when this whole time of the whole creative uprising,
Right.
So she was dating one of the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
She's hanging out with John Lennon and Yoko Ono.
Is this do you know where I'm going? I mean,
so funny you say that. Yes, you're referencing Mahogany.
Mahogany, the movie. Yeah.
So her life, Donyale Luna's life, was the basis for Mahogany.
For Diana Ross?
Yes, I wanted to put this in the documentary. So apparently, allegedly, Donyale Luna was so ahead of her time. She wrote a screenplay of her own life, and she gave it to Berry Gordy. But it didn't really work out. Okay. But he went on to make a film. And if you watch the film, it really is a kind of a basis.
We're going to watch that again. We're going to watch Donyale Luna, and then we're going to watch Mahogany.
And it's really, but it's really interesting that I found, doing research, an interview where Diana Ross is promoting Mahogany. And she's in London, and she's talking about the reason why she did this movie is because she'd never seen black women presented in this way. Like a black woman who's glamorous, who's living this life, this luxurious life all around the world. And I'm thinking to myself, that was Donyale Luna's life.
Again, in the documentary, she moved to Europe and her career took off. And I remember she did the Vogue out there. She started working with very influential photographers. Yeah. She was a muse for many of the photographers.
So she was a muse for Andy Warhol. She joined that factory, Andy Warhol. She was a muse for Salvador Dali, the artist.
My favorite artist.
Exactly.
There we go.
And she was she was on the cover of British Vogue, which was the first time a black woman ever been on the cover. This is a black woman she was the first black woman ever to be on the cover of any luxury magazine in the world.
Yes. But did she still get the racism in New York, like when she was on British Vogue? Did it still happen to her?
So unfortunately, it did follow her. So it seemed like every time she was given, they gave her 5 steps, they would take 3 back.
Wow.
And so she went to London, it took off. But then again, Vogue was like, oh, don't use her ever again. She moved to Paris, and she was supposed to be on the cover of Parisian Vogue.
Yes.
But they said no to that. And I think the editor of Parisian Vogue at the time was actually, that editor actually stood up for her and quit her job in protest.
In protest.
In protest, yeah.
Wow.
Is
she still alive?
No. So unfortunately, she died at the age of 35.
She had a very tragic. It was a very tragic.
That was not Mahogany. Okay, sorry.
Well, no, but in Mahogany, she had a tragic ending too, Diana Ross. But Donyale.
No, she had a happy ending.
Oh, which one was
Wait, remember he was like, girl, you gonna come on
No, she was in
here.
a car crash. She didn't die. The photographer
Remember
died.
Billy D. Williams?
Yeah,
like,
she was here all night.
She and Billy D got together.
You know how long it's been since I seen the Wiz? Oh my gosh. So,
Weird.
I'm just saying.
So next year is the 50th anniversary of Mahogany.
Oh, okay. Well, we gotta watch it. But Donyale Luna, look, just put a smile on your face. We're on the Vineyard. I finally got that. But Donyale Luna had a very tragic life.
I can't wait to see this documentary.
I'm telling you, which is why we don't know. We don't really know her because she died tragically. She had a daughter. I remember she got married.
Her daughter's in the film.
Her daughter. I remember watching her daughter.
She executive produced the film. And she's in the film.
So she's in the film talking about her mother.
Her name was Dream. She was amazing to work with.
She was wonderful, but what made me so sad is that she could never escape the racism and just be a supermodel. She actually was in a film, and I remember I said, she's a really good actress. So we never got any of Donyale and the greatness because it was just so tragic. They just never gave this one, like the creative folks loved Donyale and stood up for her. But the folks who were buying the magazines never gave her the opportunity to shine. And that's got to take a toll. I'm sure.
No,
but that's why we have to be thankful of the shoulders that we stand on.
Absolutely.
The people that went through the fire for us. These kids don't know the generation. They don't know the people that came before them.
All right, Martin Luther King. All right, Martin Luther King. Okay.
But it's funny that you say that because in the film Beverly Johnson's in our film, and she was very gracious, and she says that she stands on the shoulders of Donyale Luna.
Look at that.
Yeah.
What do you think? Wow, Donyale Luna, 35 years old.
But I also want to just emphasize that, while she did have a tragic ending, we didn't want to just focus on that. We wanted to really celebrate her life. Here was a Black woman who, at a time when Black people were still considered second-class citizens, basically, here she is living her dream. And she's going around the world living her dream, living in Rome, going around, like being on covers of magazines, And so she did get to realize her dream, even though she did have adversity along the way. But, so we want to also remember that.
Thank you for bringing up my Debbie Downer.
But it's on HBO. I want to make sure people support
Yes, please.
Yes.
It's on HBO Max.
When I tell you
Max, HBO Max.
HBO and HBO Max.
HBO and HBO Max.
Please make
because
it's streaming on HBO Max.
Donyale Luna, the documentary, I have to tell you, I didn't know anything about it. I said, wow, I see this Black woman. Let me see what this is about. I was mesmerized from the beginning till the end. You did
Who directed it?
Yes, I was going to say, so it took a village. Now, it wasn't just me.
Yes.
So me and my producing partner, Melissa, we came up with the idea over 10 years ago. Melissa was the creative director of Uptown when I was the editor. And so then we entered this, actually it was like a contest with the American Black Film Festival, Just Friday, and Lightbox. And they were looking for Black directors, Black producers, and we entered. And we had to pitch, and I had no idea how to pitch a studio. So I told her, I went on Google, how do you pitch a studio?
Right.
And then it came up, and Barry Jenkins, the director of Moonlight.
Barry Jenkins,
he had a video where he was talking about pitching a studio. So I wrote down everything he said.
Okay.
And I did everything he said.
Yeah.
And we got it. We got our film made.
Wow.
Yeah. And so the director, then we were paired with the director. Her name is Naila Jefferson. She's from New Orleans.
Yes.
She's amazing. Amazing director. Yeah. And so also our other producer, Melanie Cherie, she's amazing as well.
So wait, before we ended on Donyale Luna, who are you? Who are you?
I'm Isoul Harris.
Tell me, just give me some of who you are.
I'm just like a multi-hyphenate creative. I've been editor-in-chief of, I tell everyone, creativity is transferable. I started as a journalist, now I'm a filmmaker. I've kind of been doing a lot of things, living my dreams.
And he started at 9.
He's a Morehouse man.
You're a Morehouse man?
I graduated from Morehouse, yes.
What?
I'm 13 years old now. I've been doing this since I was 5. So damn sense.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
I went to Morehouse, went to NYU.
Congratulations. What an honor
Thank you.
to talk to you. No, I don't want to leave yet. I don't want
Okay.
Esau to leave. I know.
No, we
Sheila,
have
our
a
manager.
certain
I
time.
need to. Okay.
You can talk to him.
Thank you, Sherri.
No, now I'm
Esau,
going to
can I
talk to
get
him
your
now.
information?
No, he's not
Sure.
giving you nothing because I'm not done. I want to know
This
what
ain't
is
your
being.
little talk show. This is Two Funny Mamas.
Okay, well, you're not making me not funny because I want to ask Esau a question. Yeah, get an attitude. I want to know, what does being on the Vineyard mean to you? Do you come here every?
I don't come here every year, but
Okay.
I have friends who come here every year. The first time I was here was your next guest, Stephanie, who's
Yes.
the head of the Martha's Vineyard, the African American Martha's Vineyard Festival.
Yes.
She actually had me I hosted an event for Insecure. So I interviewed.
Right, Issa Rae's Insecure,
I
yes.
interviewed some stars Insecure on a panel then. So
Okay.
I came for that. Yeah.
All right. Well, I love it.
Yeah.
That's all.
But I love the Vineyard. The Vineyard's nice.
Everybody want to
Being
get
on the
attitude.
Vineyard is very nice.
It's very good. Everybody want to get attitude. I want one question about on the Vineyard.
No.
Everybody get mad at me.
But I will say,
Yes.
I've gone to a lot of events in the Hamptons, and for whatever reason, I'm not that Black person that connects with the Hamptons,
Right.
But come here, like, I feel like
It's very different.
I don't want to leave.
Yes.
Come here,
Yes,
and
it's
it's like,
true.
it's very inviting, right?
Yes. Yeah, I go to Hamptons all the time too, and I
I wanna
the
leave
Vineyard
because
I
is,
go to the Hamptons all the time.
I do, and the Vineyard is my place.
Exactly.
Well, it was, oh my God. Isoul, it was so
It was
wonderful
wonderful.
having you here. And everybody, please go to HBO or HBO Max. It's streaming on HBO Max. The Donyale Luna Documentary. You've got to see
Oh, I can't
this
wait.
documentary. It is absolutely phenomenal.
Yes, it's called Donyale Luna Supermodel.
Donyale Luna Supermodel. We want to get that right.
Yes.
Okay?
All
That's
right.
the whole thing. Great.
So thank you so much for
Thank you
being
guys for
here.
having me here. I appreciate it.
Two funny mamas. Two funny mamas. Two funny mamas. Two funny mamas.